guys, what's up? It's Samantha, and today you are seeing my face instead of my hands because I am filming a book video. This is the first video in the almost 4 years of YouTube I've done that is of my face and not of my hands, which is really, really freaky to me. This is a little nerve-inducing, but I feel like I've gotten more comfortable being on camera, doing Instagram stories, and I've been doing voiceovers that are a little less like, they're more like chatty and less like me actually talking about the stickers I'm putting down, and I don't know. But I've been wanting to film some book videos for a while, and I finally worked up the courage to do it this morning. I'm going to be discussing some of the books on my want to read list, my TBR, to be read, and I do have quite a massive list of books I want to read on Goodreads. If you make sure you're following me on Goodreads, I do have my Goodreads account linked down below in the description. But yeah, mostly I have one video in particular I really want to do. If you follow like YA, Twitter, YA, like that kind of stuff, there is a book, Blood Heir, that got a lot of controversy around it, and I was actually able to procure a physical arc of the book, and I'm almost done with it. And I have opinions, I've been highlighting and taking notes, and I want to be able to have an intelligent discussion about the book using the author's own words instead of reviewing the book based on a review of the book or reviewing the book based on what someone else said. I think it's really important if you're going to critique a book to read it and not just assume that like one person saying something is fact, and to look at what is actually going on in the book. So enough about that, because I could seriously talk about it for 3 hours, which is why it's going to be its own video, but I didn't want that to be the first book video I ever did on this channel, just because that seems like kind of coming out of nowhere, like here's my TED Talk on Blood Heir, you know? So I wanted to just come on and, you know, get a little comfortable in front of the camera, figure out what I'm doing, and discuss the books that are on my like to read list. So these are all books that I have checked out from the library, books that I've purchased, which I really don't purchase that many books. I purchase maybe like 10 books a year. And then a lot of ARCs. So ARCs are advanced readers copies, and because I am a librarian, I do get access to a lot of ARCs. Some of them are e-ARCs. None of these that I'm talking about today are e-ARCs, but I do get a lot of physical copies because publishers send our library boxes full of upcoming books because we order books so far in advance. So I'm always the first person digging through a box of ARCs when we get them in at work. Alright, so I'm just gonna jump in. The first book, I'm going to try to hold these up high enough because when I filmed this once before already and I was holding the books too low, so hopefully this is all in frame. I'm going to like hold it next to my head. But the first book I want to read is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, and I'm a bad librarian. I think I'm the only person left on the face of the planet that has not read The Hate U Give. I have flipped through it. I know what it's about, but I want to read her new book, On the Come Up, which is about it's not called SoundCloud in the book, but it's like basically about a SoundCloud rapper, so I don't know, it sounds like the kind of book that's going to have a lot of teen appeal. So I wanted to read this, and it seems a little less heavy than The Hate U Give, which I like haven't read it just because I read a lot of really heavy books like back to back, and I need to be in the right mindset to read that kind of book, so I will eventually read it. But yeah, so the next book, this is like a completely random order. The next book I want to read is this arc I got of Pretty in Punxsutawney, which this might be a DNF. I've already tried to start it and I just couldn't really get into it. It seems like it's supposed to be like a teen rom-com version of Groundhog Day, and it's really short, so if I wanted to like sit down and bust through it, I could get through it in probably 2.5, maybe 3 hours. So I might read this if I need something really lighthearted, because sometimes I just can't handle like heavy topic after heavy topic after heavy topic. So I'm excited to try this again. I think I only got like 10 pages into it when I didn't really like give it a real try, and then I was like, okay, yeah, like I guess I'll take this home, and then I never finished it. So I want to read this. I don't know why I keep holding it in front of my face. That's like not what I should do. I'm still, like, for someone who's been doing this for so long, I still have no idea what I'm doing. Then the next book is a middle grade book because I'm going to have to be reading a lot of middle grade coming up here because I am going to be book talking books to like 5th and 6th graders, and a lot of like middle grade still covers those ages. So this was it won, I forget what, it won some awards at Midwinter, which is like the ALA conference where they give out like the Caldecott and the Newbery and the Prince and all those big awards that you guys have heard of. I want to say this won like the Asian Pacific, or it was an honor book, or it won, or was it on Newbery? I don't remember, but this cover is so adorable. Like, seriously guys, like, look at this cover. This is the kind of cover that I'm like, yeah, you're cute, I'm gonna take you home. So I am excited to read this. I think it's contemporary, or it takes place in like the 80s or something, I don't know. But it's not like a fantasy book. This is like a real life kind of book. So that is one of the books that I'm reading, hoping to maybe book talk it in the spring. So I will probably end up reading like 10 or 15 middle grade books over the next couple months so that I have like choices to pick from for book talking. So the next book I have is an arc that is already out. This book's already been published. I picked up this arc a couple months ago and then I haven't read it, but I really do want to read it because it sounds right up my alley. The premise is it's an heiress who commits cat burglaries with a team of 4 drag queens. Yes. So I was like, that sounds hilarious. And it sounds like there's going to be like some action adventure, like intrigue kind of stuff going on. So I was like, right up my alley. I want to read this book. But yeah, so I'm excited to get going. I think part of why I haven't started it yet is because it is such a like chunky book. It's like over 450 pages, and I've seen that we have the hardcover at work, and it's like a big book. So, but yeah, it does sound really funny, and I need some funny books in my life. I feel like there's just not that many funny books other than Andrew Smith. Andrew Smith makes me laugh because I have like the sense of humor of a 15-year-old boy. So, yeah, I'm excited to pick this up. Not pick this up, read this. I'm holding it like I've already picked it up. My brains. And then the next book I wanted to read, I picked the arc up because it maybe, did it have a starred review, or I had it on my Goodreads to read list, and so I saw the title in the box of arcs, and so I picked it up, and I think it's like about some teenagers and someone drunk drives and there's an accident, and like how it impacts their friend group after the accident, like people get hurt, and like the relationships after the accident. That's like the takeaway I got from this book. So it sounds like it's probably going to be heavy, which can be like a little much sometimes, but I don't know, I've been like on a contemporary kick. Usually I'm very much like a fantasy sci-fi kind of person, but I've been reading a lot of contemporary. Sometimes I think it's easier to like talk about contemporary to teens unless someone's already a fantasy person. Fantasy can be really hard for reluctant readers to jump into. I don't know how much this would be for reluctant readers. We'll see. I don't know. Usually more like action adventure kind of stuff gets reluctant readers going, or something like really controversial. But I don't know. I've been on a contemporary kick, so we'll see. We'll see how I like it. The next book on my list is Onshantae, which is a book that takes place in Paris during the French Revolution, and I'm really hoping that this is good because the last couple books I've read that have taken place in Paris have just sort of been flops. I feel like there's so many books that have come out in the last 6 months that take place in Paris, like Grim Lovelies, which was and Gilded Wolves, which was and like, what was it, something with you in Paris, or in Paris with you, or whatever, that book in verse, that was cute, but like there's been a lot of fantasy epics, like that was a contemporary. This is like a fantasy, big, thick, chunky book. I really want a fantasy book to love in Paris, so I'm really, really hoping that this is a win for me. I haven't heard too much about it. I read the description, like the inside flap, because arcs are always weird. And this book is also out. I think the cover has like a woman's face on it, either overlaid or under the French flag colors. But yeah, I really hope that this is a win for me because I need a fantasy book in Paris to love. So I'm gonna give this a shot. It is super long, so if I if I get into it and I just don't like it, I might DNF it because I can't do another fantasy book that I slog through. So Grim Lovely's like wrecked me for the year. I'm already like, it was such a bad book. It was so bad. I'm like, I can't do that again. I can't read another book that takes place in historical Paris. That's awful. So I will DNF that one. I didn't DNF Gilded Wolves, which I should have, but if, you know, life's too short for bad books. But I'm really hoping that Onshantae is a winner. So the next book that I wanted to read was The Love and Lies of, I think it's like Rukhsana. I really hope I pronounced that. Rukhsana Ali. And it's about a Muslim American teenager who is gay and hasn't come out to her parents yet, and the like cultural issues with her coming out to her parents and that kind of stuff. And I really like these kind of contemporary books, so I'm hoping, I've heard some like hype about it, so I really hope it is good, because I really like being able to read like contemporary books about like characters living completely different lives than me, because I don't want to read books about people living my life. I want to read like other people's lives and get to step into their shoes for 300 pages and like find out what life is like for her. So I'm excited and I hope this is good because I've been looking forward to this one. I actually ordered this like on the library, like I requested it before it was like as soon as we ordered it because I really wanted to read that. The next book is one that I might DNF. I'm not sure, I haven't started it yet, but I've heard very mixed reviews. So this is another one of those like big chunky fantasy books that if I don't absolutely love it, I'm going to just DNF because I can't do, like I said, I can't do another fantasy book that I like hate the entire way through. I can only hate read so much in a year, and Gilded Wolves, like I said, already killed me. So I've heard, like I said, mixed reviews. I'm going to give it a shot. I do tend to be, I'm a fantasy fan, so things that like other people like might not be able to get into because I really like fantasy. I'm okay with slow starts. I'm okay with world building stuff. I'm okay with 500 pages. I'm fine with that stuff. So maybe I'll like it, but figured I'd give it a shot. The next book I have, I'm so excited for because I love Maureen Gu. I am just really, really excited for this book, and I'm cheating. I've already started this one. I'm about 40 pages into it, and it's cute. It like is giving me serious Britney Spears vibes. So it's about a K-pop star who is burning out, and she escapes from her hotel room in Hong Kong and meets this boy who is he takes photos for a like a paparazzi agency, and he like just does freelance work for them, and he's in the hotel trying to like sneak pictures of another celebrity, and he runs into her in the elevator, and they end up spending 24 hours in Hong Kong together. So I think it's sort of like it was also giving me a little bit of like vibes, like The Sun Is Also a Star, a little bit like that, but I think a little more like fluffy and not as heavy as that. Not that, I mean, that book's fun, but there's like some heavy like deportation and that kind of stuff. So I really like Maureen Gu. I think she writes really fun contemporary romance, and I just really love, like, all of her covers are so cute, and they're always song lyrics, and I've had Somewhere Only We Know by Keane stuck in my head because I've had this sitting on my desk in my bedroom, and because this is probably the next book I'm gonna like. I did start reading it one night. I was like, I can't do fantasy anymore. I need like something fluffy and contemporary. So I've had this sitting on my desk, and I'm like, I can't stop singing the songs. I keep seeing the title. So I'm very, very excited to read this. And this one, this is an arc that does not come out until May 2019. So just like, look, the back's all rainbow. I love everything about this book. I'm very, very excited. And then the next book is, if you follow me on Goodreads, you might be like, WTF, you've had this as 55% read on Goodreads since October. I did finish it in October. I got the digital arc of The Wicked King. I requested it and got approved for it, which I was like, you're approving me for The Wicked King? Like, what did I do to get this? So I'm gonna put this down. I read the whole thing. I did not stop halfway through. I loved it and I hated it, and I was so angry that I did that to myself, because then it's like now I have to wait almost a year and a half for the third one to come out, and the ending of this book was infuriating. But now I want to like reread The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King, and like I feel like I've had time to sit with my emotions about this book, and I want to like reread it and like actually mark it as finished on Goodreads and give it a proper review. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to reread this again. I feel like I sped through the arc. Like I feel like I read it so quickly because I was like, I have to know how it ends. And then I would have like thrown my phone. If it had been a physical book, I think I would have thrown it across the room when I was done with it. But I had it as a digital arc on my phone, and I like my phone, so I didn't throw my phone across the room. But this infuriated me, and I loved it, and I want to read it again, like not speeding through it, because I feel like I missed stuff, just like I was so ready to be done. Like, so I wanted to know what happened, and then I was like, why did I do this to myself? I have to wait for the third one, so. Then the next book is a similarly, something that I've hyped up. I feel like I need to like scoot out of the frame for this big boy. Is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. If you've watched my monthly videos, you know I read through a lot of her other series like The Mortal Instruments and The Infernal Devices. I didn't really like The Mortal Instruments very much. I skipped book 5 because I hated book 4 so much, and then I read book 6. That way I could like read this series. I really like The Infernal Devices, and I love The Dark Artifices. Like this is my favorite out of all of the series. This is my favorite. I really, really like the characters in this book. I ship everyone. Like I feel like a total like tween fangirl when I read this book, and I realize like it's not the world's best literature, but it's so fun for me, and I really, really like these books, so I'm not going to be here being like, she's the best writer of all time. Like, I don't think she's the best, like, she's gotten better, which is why I don't like The Mortal Instruments very much. Her writing skills have developed immeasurably since she started writing, but I'm not like over here being like, she should win every literary prize, but I'm like, I really, really enjoy these books. Like, these are 5-star books for me because of how much I enjoy them. Like, I really, really like these books. But yeah, so I need like a 3-day weekend and a bottle of wine and a big old bag of white cheddar popcorn to emotionally process this book, which is why I haven't started it, because I pre-ordered it. I bought the audiobook the day it came out. I got like an hour into the audiobook and I was like, oh no, like I'm gonna need a lot of time alone in a room to emotionally process, because this is the end of the trilogy and this is like one of my favorite trilogies. So I'm just like, that's why I haven't started it, because I'm like, I don't want it to be over, and I need like time to just focus on this. So that's part of why I've gotten so far ahead on my like books for my 200 books. That way I can give myself like a full week, because it's like 900 pages. This is a chunky absolute unit of a book. So I'm very, very excited to read this. I really want to give myself, maybe after I get back from PlannerCon, I want to give myself a 3-day weekend to just sit with this book and process, take a Friday off work and just emotionally process this book. So we have that, and then on a similar vein, I'm just gonna hold up both of these. I know I'm gonna get comments from people being like, you read things out of order. Like, I don't care, guys. Like, legitimately do not care. I feel like depending on how I hold this, like I need to figure out like which way to hold this so that y'all can see the covers. But I have not read either of these. I bought them back in like October, I think. September, October, I ordered a bunch of books off Amazon. And that was like the last time I bought books. And I haven't read either of these, even though I've read like everything else in the series. So I'm excited to get some more background information on some of my favorite characters, because I do love Magnus Bane. And I think this is mostly about Simon, I think. Simon was my only character I liked from the Mortal Instruments. Everyone else could just die and I would have been okay with it. Like, Clary and Jace are the most boring people to ever walk the face of the earth. But I was like, oh, what if the second trilogy had been entirely about Simon instead of Clary and Jace Part 2? So, I'm looking forward to reading this. And this. So yeah, that's everything on my like TBR list. I feel like that's, like it looks like a lot, but I'm reading, how many books am I reading? Like 16, 17, 18 books a month. So I'll burn through these things, guys. I always have like huge stacks of books like this. Alright guys, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is very different for me, and it's like a little nerve-wracking to just put up something that's very, very different, and I feel like talking about books is very personal for me, and I'm like, what if people hate it? Like, what if I post this video and everyone's like, boo, just post your plan with me that you haven't posted? I know, it's different. It's like an adventure, and I'm putting myself out there. I'm trying something new. I'm letting y'all see my face and my messy hair and whatever. So I promise I will still be posting my plan with me's in the same slow fashion I've been posting them. I do have all of January finished and uploaded. I think I just posted my third January week 3 yesterday, so maybe by the end of February all of January's will be live. Maybe I will have posted my first February one. I don't know. They're always slow and out of order. It just depends on when I have time to edit and do voiceovers and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think of this, of me doing book videos, because I'd really like to do more of these. I'd like to do reviews of books. I'd like to talk about books I'm hyped about. I'd like to be able to do like favorite books of the year, maybe instead of doing like talking about books I read while doing my monthly plan with me's, I could do a video where I talk about the books I read the previous month, because sometimes I want to talk about something for longer than the time it takes for me to do my monthly. And I've also been thinking about doing rewind monthlies instead of like, I don't know, that way if I do a rewind monthly I'd want to talk about things that happened during the month, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm just like really nervous about this, guys. Like, I'm so afraid that you're gonna be like, this sucks, like I don't want to see your face anymore. It just feels way more vulnerable to show my face, even though I've been talking about personal details of my life for almost 4 years on here. So yeah, I'm trying something new, I'm being brave. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you check in the description down below for my link for Instagram and Goodreads. If you're not following me there, follow me on Goodreads, because I post literally everything that I read on Goodreads. You can get commentary, you can get my hot takes, because I do updates, I'm reading books, like what I'm thinking. I'm very honest. I'm not like one of those people that hyperinflates my reviews where everything's a 4 and 5 star. I do give books 1 and 2 stars if I really didn't like things, so I try to be very fair and honest when I'm reviewing, and not just like, I feel bad giving anything less than a 3, you know. But I'm very honest, so if you want to follow me on Goodreads, follow me there, and then let me know in the comments down below what books you're looking forward to reading, if you've read any of the books on my list, my big whole pile of books in front of me. Let me know if there's anything you've read, if you've liked it, if you haven't liked it, what you're excited about that's coming out, what you want to read. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!